Drew Barrymore, she is opening up about perimenopause and how specifically it's affecting her dating life. So Drew told Oprah that even though she normally feels pretty confident, something stopped her from bringing up menopause with a man that she is seeing. She was saying, like, maybe he's not gonna think like I'm sexy or desirable if I start talking about menopause. So it feels, Lainey, that she might have a bit of the stigma around menopause and dating. So is she onto something?
I can understand why, because I do think there is a stigma. I think our society, and every society, most societies, let's call it, have, this idea about a woman's value as she ages. And thank you. And then especially when it comes to her value and her body and what we assign to that. So I understand. And
don't you think a woman not menstruating anymore is way sexier?
But I don't think we've positioned it like that. I think more conversations like this need to happen, and probably the one we're about to have, to combat that stigma and to give different versions of what menopause and perimenopause feel like and look like for people. So we can start now. I can tell you, hi, my name is Lainey Lui, and I am in perimenopause.
You're getting the snaps for that one.
Thank you. I understand that for many women, perimenopause involves like hot flashes and vaginal dryness, not sexy, I get it, and headaches and maybe loss of memory. For me, myself, just me, I can say that that is not what I'm experiencing. I'm experiencing an oversurge of energy. I often say my brain is on fire. My periods are erratic and unpredictable, but I mean, she's been like that my whole life. Like, so I don't really care about that. So right now I'm loving perimenopause. I'm really into
but here's
my
the
body.
question. So if you were dating, first of all, bravo.
Yeah.
So now take it one step further. If you were divorced and dating and feeling this, there's a word for what you're experiencing. It's called menopausal zest.
So it's not just me.
No, there is an actual term for it, where for some, not all, for some women, midlife is where we are peaking. We are peaking with our libido. We are peaking with confidence. It's like the I don't give a bleep era of our lives. There's a peak for some women that's happening. So if you were dating, could this confidence translate in the bedroom?
It's hard to say, because I do think, as Drew is experiencing, it is real what society has done to women and the messages that we've all internalized. So if I were single, if I was divorced, I don't know how I would have internalized those messages. So yes, I understand that biologically I might be fortunate to be experiencing menopause in such a fun way so far. And then socially, I'm fortunate to have experienced life in such a fun way where I'm not in that position. I get that there's privilege here. But I also want to make sure that we make room for all stories. Yes, let's make room for the stories where menopause is not pleasant and some women are struggling with it. I hear you. I may not feel you in the same way, but I hear you. But also I hope that there's room for stories like mine where I'm like, perimenopause has been a party.
Well, see, your stories get me excited, and the idea of that there might be this moment where you peak and life doesn't feel any better, because my perimenopause experience, hi, I'm Jess Allen, and I am also experiencing perimenopause. I want what you're having. Like, I would love that, because I have never felt more stupider in my entire life. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you. I feel dull. I feel distracted. I don't know what I'm talking about now.
Great.
We're talking about
You look great.
I feel great. But and for me, and you said that so wonderfully, like, of course there is a stigma. Personally, I don't feel the stigma so much because I'm in a healthy relationship and because I'm not embarrassed by it. I just told you, like, I'm not embarrassed that my body is starting to say, you know what, we're not gonna produce these eggs You're gonna stop bleeding monthly. I'm fine with that, actually. That's wonderful. But what does concern me is that, and this is also partly on me, I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the knowledge to know.
Not on you. It's not entirely on you.
It's not entirely on me. Really, I want to know if there's something I can do lifestyle-wise, if there's medication to get rid of dummy and dumber, you know, like here, to fix that, or at least take away some of those symptoms.
I love all of this, and I love that we're talking about this on national television, because I do think, like menstruation, this has been shrouded in mystery and secrecy, and where there is mystery and secrecy, there is shame. And then people will try to capitalize on it, that misinformation and shame. So I think the more and more you're seeing people come out and talk about it, like Drew Barrymore, Naomi Watts has started a whole company, I think it's called I Am Stripes. She's got a documentary, I think we're gonna be talking about it on our show soon, that deals with menstruation to menopause. Like, I wanna hear more of these stories. And I wanna hear people I wanna hear J-Lo's stories of these things, right? Wouldn't you like to hear, what are you doing? Because she seems to be, like, Angelina Jolie, Madonna, like these women that we look up to. What are you doing? Talk about it in a way that like breaks it down for people, because like I'm a little bit, I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure what I'm going through. Like, I'm not experiencing any physical symptoms. I still have a regular period, but I do feel a little bit of the fogginess and sharp, and maybe a little bit more irritable. And but then I think about that as, again, we've so often thought of hormonal shifts as this kind of like, oh my God, I got to bury these symptoms. I got to not talk about them, or else they might be used against me. But I would love to shift that narrative at both the beginning of our fertile life and the end of like, when we have these things, like maybe it is telling us a different story. Maybe we are meant to go into our emotions in a certain way. Maybe instead of trying to constantly like, I'm not talking about this at work, I'm not gonna bring it up. It's like, no, I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna loud and proud, I'm gonna grab this tampon, I'm gonna take it to the thing. I'm no longer gonna be like hiding in the closet, not talking about how I'm feeling about things.
To go back to, I think that's great. And I think the more we talk about it, shifting perspective, and I want to do that for you, Jess. I understand your experience is not mine. You're experiencing things that are not very pleasant, or at least new for you. The way I've been able to, you know, the way that I've been sort of analyzing it, the process in my own body, I'm fascinated by my body, because I feel like this shift, this change is like a superpower. Think about the woman's body. So when, you know, that person is born, they can't produce children yet. And then, you know, in adolescence, something happens and the body shifts, and suddenly you have this capability, if you choose to bear children, right?
And then, if you can.
If you can. And then later, around our age, the body shifts again, another superpower, and the energy shifts to, I'm not gonna make an egg every week, every month, I'm gonna do something else. And it's almost like this, we can do it, we can transform, we can have this metamorphosis without getting stung by a spider or zapped by gamma rays. But for superheroes who are stung by spiders and zapped by gamma rays, they don't delve into and like fully realize their superpowers right away. They struggle. Spider-Man had to fall off the building. Basically, Spider-Man, you know, the Hulk was like, oh, what's happening to me? They had to learn how to control their superpower. There you go. You are in the training phase. So listen. You're in training right now, Jess.
We've decided our menstruation ending is a superpower. And we've also decided we need a new PR or marketing scheme to rebrand perimenopause and menopause. On that note,
superpower.
We just burned that whole first segment on something. We are going to rebrand it. It's going to be so hot and sexy by the time this show is done talking about menstruation and menopause. Hot and sexy. We got you, Drew. We got you, Drew.
Thanks for watching. We've got lots more discussion and debates on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. Don't forget to click like and subscribe.